From the BBC, Twitter is condemned by the United Nations, Marxist privately run organization, just like Reserve Banks, and EU over reporters ban. Oh, yes. Oh, he banned reporters. That evil Elon Musk. How dare he? Meanwhile, when Twitter was under Jack Dorsey and later that Parag Agrawal and Vagina Gotti, Vajaya. Sounds like vagina to me. Sure stinks like one that hasn't been fucking washed in a while. That cunt. Glad she's gone from there. They had no problem banning Project Veritas. Where was the UN then? They banned Project Veritas. Didn't they ban that Andy No or something maybe? They banned a whole bunch of right-wing, so-called right-wing conservative reporters. What about that? Why was the UN and the EU speaking up then? You see, those reporters, they weren't on our side. They're very staunchly anti-Marxist, anti-communist. And we at the UN, we're a bunch of commies, and we're pushing communism, and so is the EU. The European Union is nothing more than an experiment in global socialism. That's what they're pushing. So sure, it's okay when you ban the people we don't like, but if you ban our people, we're going to condemn you. Yeah. Implying that the actions are condemnable, which means when you did it was also bad. Whoa. Yeah. Don't ascribe that level of self-awareness, though, to these fucking people. Anyway, before I get into this story, I'd like to ask those of you out there that like and appreciate the raw, red pill nature of my content to go check out my BitChute channel, bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. That's bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher, where you will find more than 1,500 pieces of content to date. That is 1,500 pieces of content. So if you appreciate the raw red pill nature of what I produce, go check it out. bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. So Twitter is condemned by the UN and EU over reporters' ban. You know what this tells me? That's good. Now, of course, I guess EU could be like a controlled opposition shill. And they could be condemning him because they know the majority of people don't like them. And they figure if we condemn him, then that's going to add more validity to him. That's going to make him seem like a better choice. It's going to make him seem like a better option. It's going to make him seem like somebody that we should follow and support in the future. It's possible. Hard to say. I haven't seen that very much has changed with Twitter. I tried to post a couple tweets the other day and they got flagged, and I got like an automatic message saying, you really shouldn't post this. You might hurt somebody's fee-fees. I'm like, nothing's really changed. If anything, it seems worse than before. So I don't know. I don't think it's all that much better. I mean, he's brought back a bunch of banned accounts, but it still seems like the platform has the same restrictions in regards to faux hate speech, only I guess the one thing that is better is that now Elon is applying the rules almost equally. I mean, there's still a bunch of people he won't unban because, my feelings. So the guy isn't 100% consistent. So I guess in that way he's better, in that he's applying the rules equally. But the rules haven't really changed. And I have a problem with the rules mainly. So it hasn't become any more free speech in regards to the rules. It has become more free speech in the sense that he's applying the rules evenly and he's not making any special exceptions and special pleading arguments and saying one side is exempt from them because they have the same political views as me, and the other side, well, I'm going to apply the rules to them. And I'm even going to apply rules that don't exist and then justify it, later on with some vague language. So he's applying them evenly. So I guess it is better in that sense. But anyway, the United Nations has joined the European Union in condemning Twitter. In their decision to suspend some journalists who covered the social media firm. Yeah, what they're not telling you is that these journalists doxed Elon Musk, and because of the actions of these journalists constantly doxing him in real time, I might add, some wackadoo, nutjob, crazy person followed Elon Musk's kid. I don't know if Elon Musk was with the kid. I don't know if the kid was with Elon Musk's baby mama, which he has a lot of, by the way. So I guess when you're the richest guy in the world, you can afford to have tons of baby mamas and pay, whatever child support they want or need. So I'm not sure what the situation was, who was with the kid, but some wackadoo nut job blocked the car that had his kid in it, his young son, and The guy proceeded to jump on the hood of the car that his kid was in. Oh, because these fucking journos are reporting his real-time location, obviously in the hopes that something like this would happen. I'm sure they're disappointed that the nutjob didn't pull out a gun and blow away what they hoped was Elon in the car, and maybe his kid too, as a cautionary tale. Because, to bring about the global utopia where everybody's equal, it's worth any price we'll pay. Any price we gotta pay, it's worth it. So reporters from the New York Times, CNN, and Washington Post were among those locked out of their accounts. CNN, Washington Post, and New York Times. Yeah, big shocker. So the UN tweeted that media freedom is not a toy, while the EU has threatened Twitter with sanctions. I love it. Where were you when other journos from the other side of the aisle were getting banned? Jesus Christ. Conservative journalists have been getting banned from fucking Twitter for a decade now. I didn't hear you complaining then. Well, that's because they're not conservatives. They hate conservatives. They want to destroy the world so they can build it back better. They don't want to conserve it. Oh, media freedom's not a toy. Why don't you tell Jeff Bezos that? The guy that owns the Washington Post, whose reporters got banned, who uses it as his bully pulpit to spread globalism, to spread corporatism, to spread lies and misinformation. Well, it's not misinformation if we spread it, even if it is lies, even if it's not true. By the way, what the fuck is that misinformation? What happened to opinion? Oh, if you have an opinion, but your opinion is not correct, so says somebody else with an opinion, then that's misinformation. So people aren't allowed to have opinions anymore. They're allowed to have opinions that they're right. Well, who gets to decide who's right? Are we doing? Who are you? We're the powers that be. We're the people that print the money. And then own all these big media companies. So we get to employ media freedom as a toy, but you don't if you don't agree with our narrative. A Twitter spokesperson told a U.S. tech news website the bans were related to the live sharing of location data. So I love how these journalists think they're so smart. They're going to try to hide their doxing by saying, well, we was just reporting what somebody else reported. It was already public information. Somebody else doxed him. We doxed him also, but it's not actually doxing. Because it was done by somebody else. So essentially the argument is that somebody else does it, I can do it too. So if somebody goes out and kills somebody, can I kill somebody too? So if somebody else goes out and kills somebody, does that suddenly make it not wrong for me to kill somebody? What if I do it the exact same way, in the exact same manner? It totally completely mirrors what this person did. Does that make what I did not wrong? No! So what's their argument? So some other person doxed him, so he was just reporting on that other person doxing him, and in doing that reporting, we happened to dox him as well. But that's okay, because it's a story. Isn't that doxing? Melissa Fleming, the UN's Undersecretary General for Global Communications, said she was deeply disturbed. No, you're not. You're not deeply disturbed by reports that journalists are being arbitrarily suspended from Twitter. But they weren't being arbitrarily suspended. Twitter has terms of service against doxing. You're not allowed to dox. Now, what you're really upset about is that in the past, you could dox and there'd be no consequences because you had the right political views. So said Vagina Gotti and Jack Dorsey and Parag Agrawal, because you were doxing their political adversaries, their political foes, their ideological foes. Well, Taylor Lorenz doxing libs at TikTok and going to her mama's house and broadcasting her mama's address. That's okay, because her mama's evil, because that's libs of TikTok's mama. Guilt by association. Don't you know? That's okay. That's okay. And if some nutjob shows up at their house and kills the mother, or kills libs of TikTok, or kills them both, that's okay, because we just won't report on it. And if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it make a sound? So, media freedom is not a toy, she said. A free press is the cornerstone of democratic societies and a key tool in the fight against harmful disinformation. Now, what the fuck is that? Can somebody tell me what harmful misinformation is? What is that? I'm not allowed to have an opinion? If you think it's harmful, well, somebody might listen to your wrong opinion and then they die. I guess it's possible. But I mean, then I'm wrong and then they were wrong because they didn't do their due diligence. If I didn't do my due diligence, does that make me responsible for their lack of due diligence? I'm confused here. Isn't this like somebody invested in FTX? That company just failed with that Sam Bankman-Fried, Asperger's, autistic, fucking out-of-control hair, caricature of a supposed intelligent person, Einstein pretending wannabe motherfucker. Isn't that kind of like if somebody was to invest in FTX, and then they tell me to invest in FTX? That's a great deal, and I didn't do my due diligence, and I invest in FTX, and I lose all my money, that the person who told me to invest is responsible for my loss of money? I'm not responsible? Really? I bear no responsibility. I didn't know to do due diligence. I didn't know to do my research. I just trusted their opinion. Oh, they're responsible. Harmful misinformation. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because other people, in large, are responsible for my failures, my foibles, my mistakes, my bad choices, because that's the way socialists view the world, right? Spread the wealth around. Spread the blame around, too. Make other people responsible for my bad choices. Of course you would make this call. Of course you would have this hot fucking stupid take. You dumb broad, you. Earlier on Friday, EU Commissioner Vera Jourova, very nice, very diverse sounding name, threatened Twitter with sanctions. I'm sure that Elon Musk is shaking in his boots, yo. Because you threatened some sanctions on him. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, you gonna impose those sanctions? Even though you didn't impose them when the conservative journos have been getting kicked off of Twitter for years. Yeah? And where were you calling out misinformation when it was proven that the Steele dossier was fucking commissioned by Hillary Clinton? And all that bullshit about Trump getting Russian prostitutes to pee on him was made up. And where were you when the so-called 51 intelligence operatives said that, Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation, and that was proven to be bullshit? Where were you then? You weren't calling out that disinformation. Oh, because it served your purposes. So you really have no morals or ethics or principles at all. It's just a big, giant power play. Under Europe's new Digital Services Act. Yeah. Entirety of Europe. Lovely. Which she said requires the respect of media freedom and fundamental rights. Well, you don't have a right to break the terms of service. Whatever happened to private company? I am so confused here. You don't get to have it both ways. I mean, I know you feminist Marxist nut jobs like to have it both ways, right? You don't get to say that they're a private company, they can do whatever they want, when they were banning conservatives for years and you never called them out. And then when people on your side, liberal lefties, get banned, then you say, oh no, it's a private company, but they don't get to do what they want. Which is it? The two are mutually exclusive, yo! Elon Musk should be aware of that. There are red lines, and sanctions are coming soon. Yeah, that should be interesting to see. Mr. Musk has not commented directly on the suspensions. Yeah, but he is kind of going soft on them now. And he's putting up one of his polls and polling people to see whether or not these people should stay suspended. Yeah. So he can kind of save space. He wants to let him back on now because he's going to give under all of this pressure from the EU because he's a big giant pussy, which is what he really is. And he's only for 100% free speech when it doesn't impact his bottom line. And I understand he's got a business to run. He's got to worry about his profits. He's got to worry about money coming in and going out and keeping the fucking lights on. Hell, I don't even think he's paying rent for their San Francisco offices anymore. So he's probably going to move the fucking headquarters to Texas or some shit, which I say good on him. But, I mean, dude, you can't be a free speech absolutist and then be caving like this. when people are knowingly, willingly breaking terms of service because they want to get you or your kid killed, or both of you, and you're going to unsuspend them by holding polls. Which I hope doesn't happen, by the way. But anyway, but said in a tweet that criticizing me all day long is totally fine, but doxing my real-time location and endangering my family is not. I 100% agree, and that's obviously what they were trying to do. The technology tycoon later set up a poll. And by the way, anybody trying to say that his locations of his jet, which they were hoping somebody with a fucking Stinger missile would shoot down, how many people got those? But you know where he's going to land. These private airports are not known for their security, yo. Well, you got a fence, somebody can climb that. They're hoping somebody will show up and shoot the guy. That's what they're hoping for when they report his real-time location. So give me a fucking break. Talking about how, this is publicly available information. By the way, it's not. He already verified that he pays a lot of money, to keep this stuff out of public information realms. So it's not publicly available information. None of it is. Somebody with quite a bit of tech savviness was getting his real-time location, reporting on it, and then these supposed legit reporters were taking that and broadcasting it under the guise of just reporting on a story. We're not doxing anybody, even though the story that we're posting is directly doxing him in real time. Oh, yeah, the technology tycoon later set up a poll asking whether he should unsuspend the accounts now or in 7 days. See, he already let that Kathy Griffin back on the platform, and she broke the rules and repeatedly committed not just suspendable offenses, but bannable offenses, suggesting the decision could be reversed sooner rather than later. Why? There have been mainstream real journos that have been banned from Twitter for a decade. Now, what about Alex Jones? Well, I don't like Alex Jones. My son died, and he talked about kids dying, and kids dying, my son died. Ooh, you gotta stay banned. But he didn't break any terms of service, ever. Too bad. I'm not really a free speech absolutist. I just say that because I want people to like me and pat me on the fucking back and say how wonderful I am and sing my praises. But I don't live up to that principled stance at all. So, yeah, some doxing rules apply to journalists. The same doxing rules apply to journalists as everyone else. Apparently not. Apparently if you dox, as a journalist, there'll be a poll put up, and then he'll use that as a justification later on to let you back on because he can't handle the heat from the EU because you're banning somebody from their team. He added, using a term to describe the release of private information about online individuals. A spokesman for the New York Times. Yeah, but these people are so used to gaslighting and with their relativistic view of the world. They can justify even to themselves. It was just a story. We were just a story. We were reporting on somebody else doxing you. The fact that we also doxed you, that was just a story being reported. So we weren't technically doxing. They can gaslight themselves. They do on a regular basis. How do you think they continue to believe some of the nonsense they do? Called the suspensions, spokesperson for the New York Times called the suspensions questionable and unfortunate. Yeah. What about when Project Veritas was banned? What about the Babylon Bee? Oh, no. Those weren't questionable or unfortunate. The suspensions come after Musk vowed to sue the owner of a profile that tracks his private jet. Good. He said a crazy stalker used live location sharing to find and accost a vehicle carrying his children in Los Angeles. It did happen. There's video footage of it, by the way, which I saw. It's very frightening. I'd be pissed too. But following the suspensions, the German Foreign Office warned Twitter that press freedom cannot be switched on and off on a whim. It's not on a whim. It's a private company that you people have been saying for years can do whatever they want. It's a private company. And it actually is a private company. Before that wasn't true. Twitter was publicly traded. So this total complete bullshit that it was a private company is total complete BS. It was publicly owned, publicly traded. It wasn't a private company. Now it actually is a private company. And now when it fits the definition, the very definition of a private company that they in the past said could do what they wanted, now they can't do what they want. Fuck these people. Listen to these idiots. A town square. How much more is there? Too much. This is too much. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I'll try to get through this. I don't know that I want to read anymore. Mr. Musk, you mean Elon Musk, took control of Twitter in October. Yeah, 44 billion. Yeah. So any sanctions placed on Mr. Musk's business over the account suspensions could be applied under the block's new digital service. Of course. Yeah. But of course, it's enforced with discretion. It's discretionary, because if it wasn't, you would have already had consequences imposed on Twitter in the past when it was run by Vijaya Gotti and Parag Agrawal, because they were banning conservative journalists. But that's okay with you. Yeah, whenever one of these fucking bureaucratic policies can be applied discretionarily, you need to be suspicious. Under the terms of the proposed new law, the EU Commission will be allowed to impose fines of up to 6% of the global turnover of a firm that it finds breaks the rules. Again, they could apply this on a whim. Lovely. In extreme cases, the EU could ask a court to suspend a rogue service, but only if it's refusing to comply with important obligations and thereby endangering people's lives and safety. You mean like doxing his kids? And their real-time location? You mean that? Oh, that's okay. If it's done in the vein of a journalist, in the vein of journalism, if it's done as a journalist, that's okay. See, the rules don't apply to journalists. Don't apply. Matt Binder, a journalist for Mashable, and one of those suspended, said he didn't know why he had been banned. Really? So you dox somebody and you don't know why you're being banned, even though I'm sure you're perfectly aware that doxing is against Twitter's terms of service. You probably have them memorized. I've been very critical of Musk in my reporting, he told the BBC, but he said that Mr. Musk claimed that everyone that got suspended was doxing him due to the jet tracker was not true. Yeah, you just doxed this location somewhere else, right? Yeah. Why'd you get suspended, pal? Yeah. Oh, he doxed. You reported. No. You reported on him being doxed by somebody else, and you included the information, the doxing, in your report, you idiot. That's doxing. He said he had never tweeted a hyperlink to the tracker. No, you just reported the information that the tracker found in regards to his live, real-time location. It's the same thing. Clearly, the people who were suspended were hand-picked. Just like you. I love it. We do what you do, it's bad. We actually have good reason for doing it. That makes it even worse. Because there are literally hundreds of accounts per minute who tweeted the link. Yeah. You can't get everybody. They weren't journalists, by the way. Somebody with like 3 followers tweeted it. I mean, come on. Mr. Bender, by the way, you were doing this in your capacity as a journalist. That's very different. You have a hell of a lot more reach. Mr. Bender has been on Twitter since, I don't care how long he's been on Twitter. That doesn't in any way, shape, does that add more validity? Does that give him more leeway? No. Anyhow, the story goes on by saying Mr. Musk later spoke to journalists on Twitter Spaces, part of the social media app that allows the live media, audio conversations. But after answering a few questions about the ban, he left the Twitter. Oh, notice they don't say what he said during that conversation. Of course not. Yeah, he said the journalists are not above the rules, and that you dox, you get suspended. Makes a lot of sense. Anyway, at the heart of this is a father raging about the sharing of a location data of his private jet, which he claims led to a security incident involving his young son. That's not true. Anyway, the Twitter feed that started it all was scraping publicly available flight data. That's also a lie. That information is not public. The person was doing some nefarious hacking shit to get that information. You are lying. Might not even calling you on your disinformation. CNN? Motherfuckers? Or whoever posted this? What is this? BBC. Same difference. So there you go. There you go. The United Nations, which is just cultural Marxist pushing organization that wants global socialism, same for the EU, want Elon Musk to be sanctioned because he set the horrible precedent of banning some of their shills. Can't do that. So let me know what you think of this story. Was Elon Musk right to ban these left-wing activists pretending to be journos because they doxed his real-time location and that of his son? Or should they be allowed to get away with that? And they can dox till their heart's content because their doxing in their capacity is reporters, which is just reporting the news. So that supersedes any doxing and changes the definition of what they're doing to something else other than doxing, even though this is exactly what they're doing, which is doxing. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And please like and subscribe to my BitChute channel if you have not already. bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. That's bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. Check it out.